الناس في دايما حلم تحلم بيه، وانا كان حلمي على قدي ونفسي اعيش، ولما رميت عليك حملي شاركتني فيه، ايدك في ايديا من الاول ما بتسيبنيش. يلا يلا نكمل سكة مشيناها، يلا نفرح سوا باللي احنا حققناه، يلا هانت خلاص وانا وانت قلناها.
مشاهدي الكرام، اهلا بحضراتكم ومرحبا، كل تحياتي اليكم. احدث حضراتكم من مقر شركة النصر للكيماويات الوسيطة بمنطقة أبو رواش.
In Abou Rawash. Greetings to you all. The President will inaugurate in a few minutes some of the factories here at the premises of the company. These factories are for the liquidation of oxygen gas as well as packing it and delivering it to hospitals. It is so important, especially due to the need of oxygen for patients. The company provides the oxygen cylinders to 135 hospitals. And this is so vital. Also, nitrogen gas is sequestrated as well as argon gas and other rare gases. In the atmosphere, we have 78% of nitrogen as well as 21% oxygen, and argon, in addition to other gases, are 1%. The different elements forming the air are separated. Oxygen is liquidated and used for medical purposes, and this is the most important thing. Also, nitrogen is sequestrated and used in a number of industries, and argon is a rare gas, and it is used in a number of different industries, especially heavy industries and welding. Back to the main purpose of this factory, and it is the provision of oxygen. Additional plants were constructed in the year 2019, and afterwards came COVID-19, and everybody was in need for oxygen in different hospitals. And I think that it was so important to construct such factories. Today, additional factories are being constructed. Of course, the medical sector in Egypt enlarges due to the increase of hospitals nationwide, as well as the types of services provided. I'm here talking about public and private hospitals. By the end of the day, it's a medical service provided to millions of citizens. As you can see here, this is the master plan of the plant in Abou Rawash. You can see the surface area and the factories, how they are being distributed according to the different industries. We're talking here about almost 21 factories in this plant in different industrial sectors. In addition to this factory for the sequestration and liquidation of oxygen, chemical industries and a lot of derivatives are being made here at the headquarters of the plant. The company also owns a number of other plants in other places like Ain Sokhna. And the same services are being provided, be it here at the premises in Abou Rawash or at the different other sites. These industries are considered to be the backbone of chemical industries. And there are a lot of other industries that exceed 20 to 30 sectors, and new sectors are added every day.
قواتنا المسلحة التي تقدم الكثير في
And the
سبيل
armed forces
إثراء
is enriching the industries and the wealth of this country. There is a lot to talk about and to be explained today in the different sectors. President Sisi will take a tour to visit these factories and to visit some of these sites. And we will watch all these details, and I will try to hold interviews with a number of experts in these industries to introduce to us what can be done during the coming days and years. Egypt is a pioneer in this sector, and Egypt is also exporting a lot of products like aerosols, shaving creams, medical health, industrial products, and a lot of brands that are produced by Nasser intermediary chemical company. And we all deal with these products on the domestic basis and on medical basis in hospitals. It's so important that there is a reserve to be added to all these sectors. Industrial and agricultural, the whole world is facing problems in different sectors, starting with security purposes up till small things that influence this industrial and agricultural sectors. And of course, there is a problem with the supply chain in the world, and any addition that is made in any country helps achieve food security. And this is a new addition. Dear viewers, now the President arrives to start this day.
يسوي اللي ما يعمل وتخلي الدنيا بحالها تشوف الخير. وحلم بحلم جرينا سبقنا ودينا فرقنا عشان حققنا اللي بنحلم بيه بقالنا كتير. سلام مليون تحية للي قالها وقرا، هنبقى قد الدنيا فعلا مش كلام. يسوي اللي ما يعمل وتخلي الدنيا بحالها تشوف الخير. أدينا بدأنا وحلم بحلم جرينا سبقنا ودينا فرقنا عشان حققنا اللي بنحلم بيه بقالنا كتير. النووي ومصر بتنوي الخير وهي مادة ايديها تقوي، تسوي اللي ما يعمل وتخلي الدنيا بحالها تشوف الخير. عشان صدقنا ادينا بدأنا وحلم بحلم جرينا سبقنا ودينا فرقنا عشان حققنا اللي بنحلم بيه بقالنا كتير. محبة خير سلام. مليون تحية للي قالها والجرام، هنبقى قد الدنيا فعلا مش كلام. تسوي اللي ما يعمل وتخلي الدنيا بحالها تشوف الخير. ودينا فرقنا عشان حققنا اللي بنحلم بيه بقالنا كتير. النووي ومصر بتنوي الخير وهي مادة ايديها تقوي، تسوي اللي ما يعمل وتخلي الدنيا بحالها تشوف الخير. عشان صدقنا ادينا بدأنا وحلم في حلم جرينا سبقنا. ودينا فرقنا عشان حققنا اللي بنحلم بيه بقالنا كتير.
مصر أم الدنيا وهتبقى قد الدنيا.
هنا صدق حلمي وبدأ، قالوا عني زمان موهوم بيضيع وقت، لا يوم سلم ولا استسلم.
السيد الرئيس عبد الفتاح السيسي رئيس الجمهورية القائد الأعلى للقوات المسلحة.
السلام عليكم.
Peace be upon you. Your Excellency, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, the President of the Republic and the highest commander of the armed forces, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, many happy returns. May Egypt always be safe and in prosperity and progress. Few days and the year 2022 would come to an end, and a new year will start where we will continue our achievements with a strong Egyptian will and a political leadership with a vision that has scientific planning, that was able through its awareness and persistence to put Egypt on the right path, the path of stability, construction and development. A development stride witnessed by Egyptian governorates with the inauguration of a number of national projects with important socio-economic impacts on the geographical level. Projects that give hope that there is a change towards the better and that there are new opportunities for the youth of Egypt, in addition to reshaping the development plan of Egypt as well as achieving a decent life for the Egyptian citizens. Today we are witnessing the two factors, the medical and industrial gases factors, as well as tertiary power generation plant in Nasser Chemical Industries Complex affiliate to the National Services Project, which is considered to be the biggest company in the armed forces, in addition to its pioneer role in developing the industrial zone. The best thing to start with is verses from the Holy Quran with reciter Ayman Aql.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وكلا نقص عليك من أنباء الرسل ما نثبت به فؤادك وجاءك في هذه الحق وموعظة وذكرى للمؤمنين وكل الذين لا يؤمنون اعملوا على مكانتكم إنا عاملون وانتظروا إنا منتظرون ولله غيب السماوات والأرض وإليه يرجع الأمر كله فاعبده وتوكل عليه وما ربك بغافل عما تعملون صدق الله العظيم.
صدق الله العظيم. جهاز مشروعات الخدمة الوطنية.
The National Services Projects Authority is one of the pillars of the national economy and on the path of development. In its method, it gathers the public sector companies and private companies, and since its establishment, it was keen on making a contribution to development in Egypt. The speech of Major General Abou Rawash. The floor is yours, sir. In the name of Allah, Your Excellency President Fattah Sisi, the President of the Republic and the highest commander of the armed forces, distinguished guests, 50 years during which our factories did not stop working. Up till now, Nasser Chemical Industries Company is the main pillar for industry in Egypt and serving medical, industrial, agriculture sectors in Egypt based on the national calibers and expertise in one of the oldest companies owned by the National Services Projects. It continued its role through a development method that enabled it to achieve the leap as an example for innovative economy while you assumed power in 2014 with Egypt's Vision 2030. Our company was Egypt to launch 13 new plants in its gigantic complexes in Abou Rawash, El Fayoum and Sokhna. And by this, the number of factories for our company over the past 8 years increased from 26 to 39 factories specialized in chemical industries as well as fertilizers. It was Egypt to meet the needs of the Egyptian market of chlorine and its derivatives to provide potable fresh water everywhere, as well as the fertilizers by increasing the phosphate percentage in it, in addition to medical and industrial gases, and the surplus is exported to different countries worldwide. By these achievements, our production complexes contributed to the agricultural and industrial development of Egypt, and it was supporting in facing different challenges like COVID-19, the Ukrainian-Russian war, and our company is the biggest in Africa and the Middle East, so it is proud that its products are being sold in 55 countries in the world, and it was an achievement that could not have been met without a strong will of 6,000 engineers and technicians working in our company. and our plants. Your Excellency, the President, in the life of nations there are unforgettable moments and there are letters that are never forgotten, and the best are those when we reap the fruit of a plan we have set and efforts we exerted to achieve the progress we aspire to, and the time when our nation is putting the pillars of the new republic. We are honored today that you are here at the premises of our complex Abou Rawash to open 2 factories for industrial and medical gases production, the 4th and the 5th, in addition to tertiary power production plants. And these plants are being constructed in line with your directives to support the medical system and to meet the needs of the industrial and medical sectors in Egypt through providing oxygen, nitrogen, and argon gases in line with the state plan to support the Egyptian industries and increase the number of hospitals, as well as develop scenarios to deal with any health issues as one of the lessons learned from the pandemic COVID-19. And soon we will inaugurate 6 azote fertilizers in Ain Sukhna, as well as a chlorine and a caustic soda factories in Abou Rawash. Our strategic plan is to serve the Egyptians, and due to this purpose we have set a number of objectives that we recently, through your directives, were able to implement to achieve the good for the Egyptians, one of which is contributing to meet our food security by providing the commodities and strategic goods at affordable and suitable quantities through the outlets, be it fixed or mobile, as well as the reclamation of thousands of dens in Al-Farafra, Ain Dawla, Wadi al-Sheikh, Toshka, and Ain al-Sukhna, as well as establishing fisheries and developing the lakes and increasing their productivity, providing livestock through the expansion in establishing farms, creating an added value through providing fertilizers, pesticides and herbicides, as well as chlorine, alum and oxygen, in addition to the contribution of improving the quality of life for the Egyptians according to Egypt's Vision 2030. Your Excellency the President, let me extend thanks and appreciation to Your Excellency for your continuous support and the increasing concern to serve the country and the great nation of Egypt. I would like to extend thanks to the commanders of the armed forces for their continuous support, and I see this opportunity to extend thanks to the staff of Nasser Chemical Industries Company for all their efforts to make the factory a success, and I urge them to exert more efforts for the development of their company. At the end of my speech, Your Excellency the President, I would like to say that our approach would be always serious action and continuous development, high quality and accuracy, and we pledge before you all and before Allah to exert all our efforts so that our production complex would be always contributing to the development of Egypt and a role model for an industrial agriculture progress that is up to the expectations of Egyptians. May God protect you, Mr. President, and support your efforts, and long live Egypt and peace be upon you. We are witnessing today and have witnessed already a lot of mega development projects in every corner of Egypt. Despite all the challenges facing the state, the objective of these projects would always be providing all the needs of the Egyptian citizens for a decent, sustainable life and for building a modern state. And now we will watch a documentary under the title A New Hope. Where the dream lies, there is hope, and we reap the fruit of the developments of industrial complexes that were able to achieve a new hope.
أمكن للمجمع الصناعي المصري
The Egyptian chemical industrial complex was able to develop a lot of projects within the framework of the National Service Projects Authority, like Nasr Chemical Industries Company that provided the industrial and agricultural and medical needs, and the Egyptian will was clear in this company in Abou Rawash, El Fayoum, in Ain al-Sokhna. To increase its plans over the 8 years from 26 to 39, with the fact of 13 new factories established to provide fertilizers, the chlorine and its derivatives, liquid and solid aluminum, industrial and medical gases, pesticides, public health pesticides, as well as masks and detergents. 6,000 job opportunities were provided through these plants and factories. And its products are being exported to 55 Arab and foreign countries in the framework of the directives of the political leadership to provide the needs of liquid oxygen. They inaugurated factory number 3, and 2 new plants were established for the production of oxygen, nitrogen and argon with a daily capacity of 200 tons. So the total production of liquidated oxygen is 340 tons per day, and of liquidated argon 1,000 tons, and nitrogen 43 tons annually, which contributed to meeting the needs of more than 280 hospitals. And the branch of Abou Rawash inaugurated post-hydrogen oxygen with a concentration of 50% that increases the Egypt's reserve of industrial and medical gases. On the path of achievements, we are witnessing today the inauguration of tertiary power generation plant with a capacity of 27 megawatts, as well as vapor, and 430 tons of cooled water that contributed to the protection of environment through the reduction of use of fuel by 25%, as well as a reduction of the carbon print of the complex by 40,000 tons of carbon dioxide annually.
Your Excellency, President Al-Sisi, President of the Arab Republic of Egypt, Excellencies, distinguished audience. It is a great honor and pleasure for me having the opportunity to participate in the official opening ceremony of the new air separation plants located in this great edifice in beloved Egypt. On behalf of Linde Engineering, and in particular the executive team, I would like to congratulate the entire team of NCIC involved in this important project on the fast, flawless and safe startup of these 2 new air separation plants, which we are celebrating today. It will be an honor and pleasure for Linde to further enhance our joint collaboration to the benefit of our companies and our great countries. Thank you very much for your trust in Linde. Thank you, Mr. President.
وتتسارع خطى الإنجازات.
A lot of achievements are implemented. Chemical industries complex is achieving a lot in its complex in Ain al-Sokhna. Through these products, Egypt was able to achieve its agricultural revolution and industrial development, and is able also to cross the pandemic COVID-19 and to face challenges with achievements. We have hope for a country that believes in the value of dreams and seek to achieve a development that was before time capable of achieving a new hope. Nasr company for chemical industries is one of the complexes of industries in Egypt, and since its establishment was able to be the pioneer in achieving positive aspects that contributed to industrial development through depending on quality as the path to success, to produce a product that enjoys high quality. The speech of Major General Hamad al-Samia, the chairman of the board of directors of Nasr Chemical Industries Company. In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most gracious, Your Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the President of the Republic and the highest commander of the armed forces, distinguished guests, we would like to welcome you all to Nasr Chemical Industries Company. Many happy returns, celebrating the new year 2023. May it carry to Your Excellency Egypt and its people and its army all good. Every year the path of development continues everywhere in Egypt to achieve great accomplishments. With will, we are supporting our economy. Your Excellency the President, your sons in Nasr Chemical Industries Company are extending to Your Excellency thanks and appreciation for the confidence and concern you are giving to the company, and this is significant over the past 8 years by putting the company on top of companies in the field of chemical industries as well as medical gases. Since Your Excellency assumed office, you ratified the development of the company by establishing a number of new plants in its different branches that achieved self-sufficiency from certain products and was able to export the surplus. In the year 2015, we inaugurated the fertilizers superphosphate in El Fayoum complex, and we inaugurated chlorine and caustic soda in the complex in Abou Rawash in 2016. And the year 2019 witnessed a new beginning. We inaugurated the complex of phosphate and compound fertilizers in Ain al-Sukhna. In the same year, here in the chemical industries complex in Abou Rawash, Your Excellency inaugurated post-oxygen hydrogen that is produced for the first time in the Arab Republic of Egypt. Dr. Ihab, would you please go back to this slide? I will speak about these two, the chlorine and the super oxide hydrogen. You are working on this plant. When would it be finalized? April 2024. I'm here reviewing these data to say that when we started working on these products that are strategic for the state, we said one of which is chlorine, as well as the medical gases that we are inaugurating today. When we talked about the medical gases, our production in the past was sufficient, but COVID-19 came and we faced a problem. So we decided that we need to have the amounts that would enable us to meet the expected needs in the coming years. For chlorine, we are talking about chlorine now because with the developments worldwide there is instability in contracts. Yes, so accordingly, even if we would have contracts at specific costs, the costs would increase. So we need to think that these things you are producing and are considered to be strategic products for the state, be it through imports, and there is a problem with the supply chain over the past 3 years, 2 years because of the pandemic, and 1 year the Russian-Ukrainian war. So we believe that we need to make the local needs of these products that we cannot live without. I am saying this so that you would think thoroughly about that. For example, hydrogen. Our production is 30%. Right now it is 50% of the Egyptian local market, and we are the only producer. We will meet the market needs by 100% if we do it. I am saying this because when we speak about this today and make a decision, when we come and inaugurate the project, it takes 2 to 3 years at least for the Ain Sokhna fertilizers factory. When we were inaugurating the phosphate fertilizers, we went and told the companies come and establish the azot plants that we will inaugurate next March. Isn't this the case, Walid? Yes. Today, I mean to say that when we take a decision right now to start working on that, it takes you 3 or 4 years to make this come to light. I'm not saying this to myself or Dr. Mustafa or the government. I'm saying this for the public opinion. When some says that they started working on this, it takes 3 to 4 years until we're able to do it, with the assumption that we are moving fast. There was a discussion 2 days ago with the Minister of Petroleum about the soda ash. And we've discussed this before. When the investors were saying that there are some products that we need to increase in order not to import them. Why don't we want to import them? Because we want to create job opportunities for the Egyptians. Instead of purchasing this product from abroad, why don't I produce it here with Egyptian markets, and instead of buying it for dollars, we will purchase it by Egyptian pounds. And I'm saying this to all investors, businessmen, the government. The more we produce things we import, the less the pressure would be on the US dollar. Some people say that we hope that you would reduce the national projects to reduce the pressure on the US dollar. No? And God willing, Dr. Mustafa was talking to me the day before yesterday about his plan, because 2 months ago we said that we need to release the goods in the ports. So he was presenting to me how we are going to release these materials. Of course, the Egyptian banks will cover the dollars needed in 3 or 4 days to release these materials.
احنا يا فندم على مدار من 1
Starting the 1st of December till the 23rd of December, we released commodities for 5 billion Egyptian pounds. Dr. Mustafa, please be aware of what Dr. Mustafa is saying right now, because sometimes the lack of data gives the opportunity to rumors.
يعني حضرتك كان دايما متواتر، وكان لغايه فتره يعني ايام قليله ان اللي موجود في
المواني It used to be said that we have 15 to 16 billion US dollars of commodities in the ports. Yes, this was the case till the end of November.
احنا حضرتك اشتغلنا الحقيقه مع البنك
We
المركزي
worked with the Central Bank of Egypt and all the banking sector on releasing the largest amount of these goods. So starting the 1st of December till the 23rd of December, we released $5 billion of goods. And the remaining now are $9.5 billion are imports.
اللي هم هنقدر نقول عليهم
and those that are ready to be released and are so important, and this is what we agreed upon with everybody, including the Federation of Egyptian Industries, 4 billion or 4.5 billion dollars, and there is a plan to release the rest because we do not to stop our factories or to reduce production. That's why yesterday we held a very important meeting with all entities to coordinate this, and on a weekly basis we are going to announce how much we release and the names of the commodities and goods. We want to overcome this challenge that the state was facing because of the war and to enable the economy to operate. So we have a weekly plan and we'll announce to the public opinion how much of all the materials are being released. I hope that when we announce this, we would be there to give more data and information to the people. I would like to reassure them that when we said this, Allah supported us to achieve this commitment. We're talking about billions of US dollars. We still have dollars. For chlorine, I need to clarify, when I became the Minister of Housing, the biggest fear I had was the provision of chlorine for water plants. And before this project, we had only 2 chlorine plants affiliate to the private sector. These were the only 2 producing chlorine. The nature of chlorine plants that every year they need to maintain it, so the factories stop. So we always had this crisis, and I mean here that I will stop water plants. Otherwise, the alternative was importing chlorine in dollars for the operation of these plants. So here we have plants that used to be there in 2015 and 2016. We have increased the amount of produced water by 25 to 30%. So we can imagine that if it was not for this factory, how would it have been today if we are still importing half our needs of chlorine with hard currency. This is the importance of these projects, is that this is a matter of national security. Imagine if we will stop the operation of a water plant because of the absence of chlorine. And also, as the President said, it creates job opportunities, and the third important thing is providing hard currency. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Mustafa. So I reassured you about the release of the needs and materials from the ports, and I hope that there would be a media coverage for this, for people to see the amounts that would be released from the ports to settle this problem. Let's get back to the plants and factories. We're talking here about specific industries, and once more, we do not have the luxury to not produce them. You have now stability in its production here, and you do not have a problem. You are not worried of getting them into ports or worried about a problem with the supply chain. That's why I'm telling Dr. Heb, that you're talking about 50% for super oxygen hydrogen. I'm not talking here about hard currency only, but I'm talking about the stability of industry here. When we are dealing with the suppliers now for the new plants, we found that the figures and the costs are much more. Yes, this is the case. For the post-oxygen hydrogen, we want the gap to be less than 50%. We will try to make it ready with the plant factory in April 2024. This would be great. Let's go to the Azot fertilizers plant. I would like to tell you that Egypt, with the inauguration of this complex that was supposed to be in December, to inaugurate the 6 plants in Sokhna, but because of the international challenges, it will be postponed, but it will be inaugurated by March. And this will introduce 720,000 tons of Azot fertilizers to cope with reclamation of 2 or 3 million fidans in 2 years. Isn't this the case? Yes. So, if I'm producing the fertilizers I need and exporting the surplus, I am saying this to the farmers. If the prices of the gas used for the fertilizers production is priced according to international prices, then the cost would have been much higher. But we are keen on achieving stability in the agriculture inputs costs, so the prices did not increase. If the Minister of Petroleum tells me that he won't be able to give the fertilizers plants with this price, he wants to double the figure. Then who can incur this? Then the 1 ton, instead of being for 6,000, would be for 12,000 or 18,000. And also the farmer, when he takes it at a higher price, he would raise the price of the products. So the commodities would be at a high price. And I'm saying this to all people. Every word I say can be a big title and you can mention a lot under it. Do you know what does it mean if the food products price would be doubled? Who can incur that? Who will bear it? And the state, how would be able to face this for 1 or 2 extra years, because we do not know when would this come to an end. The state is trying as much as it can to stop the increase in prices. All Egyptians should know that we, as officials and as human beings, realize that prices is a burden. But I swear by God that we cannot do more than what we are already doing. I explained one thing. If I would talk about electricity, I will say the same. If Dr. Shaker wants to price electricity, and the Ministry of Petroleum wants to price the gas and the petroleum according to international prices, then the price would be very high for the citizen. We were not able to do this with factories or citizens, but no one is paying this from his pocket.
لكن ده من قدرة البلد.
This comes from the state capacity.
عشان كلنا نتكاتف.
I am saying this so that we would all be united, because I find that some people would say that this is an opportunity to increase prices and to earn more. We should rather during this time show our keenness on people and on each other. We're talking about food and fundamental needs. So this fertilizers plant would introduce 720,000 tons of fertilizers, and this would help us meet the local needs, and we can export the surplus if possible. If you have any other dream you want to present, we are negotiating now the third phase in Ain al-Sukhna, and it would be a complex equal to both the first and the second phases. And we have reasonable prices, so by mid-January we'll present it to you. For the soda ash, again, I discussed it with the Minister of Petroleum. There are certain things that I cannot do anything about except after checking the specifications and the bids. But for contracts, the private sector would see whether the banks would finance this. We do not have time to postpone the contracts for these factories and plants for a year or 2 years until the funding is provided. I am importing for $300 million. So any delay makes me pay this, and I sell it in Egyptian pounds. I cannot sell it to the citizens in dollars. So by doing so, we are creating job opportunities and saving hard currency, and my GDP increases also. So I'm suggesting now to businessmen, when I talked about the golden license, the purpose was to save time for you, but also the banks. With the businessmen, we do not have enough time to tell him that one of the requirements for the loan for a successful project like soda ash, because you are importing for $300 million. When you save this, this would be for the interest of the economy. Of course, you can ask for a feasibility study, but I think that the Ministry of Trade and Industry, through the imports lists, can tell the bank that we import this product at this value, and this plant will reduce 50% of the amounts needed. I'm saying this so that you as a national projects authority would understand that we cannot postpone certain projects for 2 or 3 years. We need to have contracts. We can, if you can contract in the beginning of 2023 and we inaugurate it in 2025, then I'm talking about soda ash, the $300 million. I do not hide anything from you. I did not hide anything. And there are certain things that, according to politics, should not be discussed on air, but I want to reveal the facts to the public opinion.
بقفز من موضوع لموضوع كده عشان
I jump from one topic to the other.
مش انتوا من كام يوم
A few days ago
يعني موجة كبيرة جدا على الصندوق الاستثماري بتاع قناة السويس.
Didn't you face the controversy about the Suez Canal Fund?
الناس لازم تعرف الحكاية. لما جه الفريق أسامة في 2019
When Lieutenant General Osama
قول لي أخبار
talked to me in 2019 and I asked him how much funds do you have? He said, I have nothing. I told him that when you come to establish a project for the development of Suez Canal, what would you do? He said, I will go to the Ministry of Finance. And this is the system. So I told him in countries like ours, we need to have funds aside, and I did this in the Ministry of Health. Now there is 70 billion. With Dr. Khaled, how much do we have? 70 billion. Why did you establish this fund in the Ministry of Health for the universal health coverage?
طب اسمعوا بقى، ما انتوا اللي بتستفزوني يا دكتور، مش كده؟ طيب انا عايز اقول لكم لما جينا في الموضوع ده تحديدا، وهرجع تاني لموضوع هي قناه السويس، قلت لكم ايه؟
What did I say about that? I said
انتوا حاطين معايير واشتراطات
you have put specifications and standards for the program that this state will spend.
على الغير قادرين، صح يا دكتور خالد؟ فاحنا الموازنه بتقول ايه؟
And the budget says that we will be able through this system that was not done before in our country or in other countries. And even richer countries were not able to do it. So the system was 15 years. It is based on a value that would be paid by the state and the other part would be incurred by the people. And we started on developing hospitals in Port Said and the other 5 governorates. So I told them, you are putting assumptions that all people can afford, and you put a percentage. Did you take into account an additional percentage of those who cannot afford? They said no. So I told them, then you need to have a fund with a figure and collect resources for this fund. You took Port Said governorate as a pioneer governorate, but there are other governorates that might be in a more difficult condition. So might say that what you did in Port Said won't be fully applied on other governors. So we said we need to have a fund with resources from other sources, so that if we go to a governorate according to actuarial studies for the project, when it is less, I will collect the money from this fund. This idea might not be done in other richer countries because they have a budget to cover this cost, and the citizens are richer. The citizen who takes 10,000, 3,000 or 4,000 Egyptian pounds is not taking enough. I'm explaining that this citizen cannot afford that. We need first to increase his income. So back to Dr. Khalid, we said we'll establish this fund, and in this fund today we have 70 billion, and a few days ago they told me that in few years the fund in it would be totally used. So I told him unacceptable. The fund should grow and increase rather.
طيب يعني مش عارف لو دخلت على النقطة دي المهمة، هو من غير ما اجيب اسماء مستشفيات.
Without mentioning names of hospitals.
في مستشفى بتفتح من
There was a hospital that was opened 2 years ago, and it was done by a civil society organization.
سالت اللي هو المسؤول عنها
I asked
بالتليفون
the manager by phone,
رياعه
do you have
اللي يساوي تكلفه
revenues equals the machines and the equipments I have? Sorry for keeping you standing.
فقلت له عندك فرصه انك انت يبقى عندك ريع
I
ثابت
asked him, do you have fixed
مش مرتبط
revenues,
بتبرعات الناس.
not depending on charities?
قلت له انت ماشي في
He
غلط.
said no. I told him then this
انت ماشي
path
ده في
is wrong.
غلط. قال لي ازاي؟ قلت له كده.
He
انت ما
asked why.
تعملش
I told him
مسار
because
منتظم
you not
على فرديه
have
غير
a
ايه؟
sustainable path.
غير منتظمه. الفرديه اللي غير منتظمه ايه؟ ليها تبرعات الناس. ممكن
You
تزيد
depend
وممكن
on the charities and
لكن اللي
donations
انت
of
لو انت
people.
جيت قلت المستشفى دي هتتكلف في السنه
But if you
20
say
مليون
that
جنيه
it would cost, for example, 20 million
يبقى ال 20 مليون
Egyptian
دول في
pounds,
رقم في
then
البنك
there should be a
مربوط
figure in
يجيب
the
لي 20
bank
مليون
that
جنيه
would
يبقى في استقرار
generate this
للعلاج
20
بتاع
million
الايه؟
Egyptian pounds. By doing so, there is stability
لو
in
ما
this
عملتش
hospital.
كده
If you do not do that,
هيبقى في مشكله او
then you will
تخلصت من
face a
الناس.
problem
قال لي
or
لا
take
جزء من
part
الناس ما
from the
اقدرش
people. He said, I cannot do
يا
it.
دكتور ما اقدرش اخد. طيب خلاص. وبعدين احنا كمل وبعدين بكلمه
And he continued, and I phoned him after a while, asked him how are things going. He said
يعني قلت له تبرعات قال لي لا
things are not good. I told him the donations decreased. He said no, donations did not decrease, but the demand increased.
ما اقدرش ما اعالجكش ده مستشفى.
And this is a hospital that cannot tell people no, I cannot help you.
أنا بقول ده عشان أربط بين الكلام ده كله.
I am trying to link this to a path I thought with my colleagues that it is an opportunity to find solutions apart from the state budget and without influencing it. And I will give you an example when I talked to Dr. Mustafa when he was the Minister of Housing.
وكان رئيس الوزراء في الوقت ده الدكتور محلب.
The Prime Minister was Dr. Mehlib.
فبقول له يا دكتور مصطفى
I told him, Dr. Mustafa, how much you have? He said 750 million Egyptian pounds.
قال لي 750 مليون جنيه. قلت له يا دكتور مصطفى ده
I told him this is a very small figure.
النهارده بالمسار اللي احنا مشينا فيه الدكتور مصطفى الصندوق بتاعه
Today the fund
نص
has
تريليون جنيه.
half trillion Egyptian
واحد يقول لي
pounds.
طب ما تدوهم لنا
Some would tell me, why don't you give us the money?
هو ده اللي خرب البلد.